Do you recognize this scenario? You need to write a song, write on your thesis, start recording a video, sign up for a lesson or practice something, and suddenly you just get lazy and feel the urge to just lay down on your couch and watch something on your phone or computer and just like, no, I don't have the energy to do this today. Well, I feel like this every day. And I thought that at some point this would go away and I would like learn to just get started and just do. And I felt like, oh, Johan, why are you so lazy? Pull yourself together and just do it, because seriously, it's not that difficult. So stop being lazy and just start do. Well, I gave myself a hard time because I was lazy, but that was completely wrong. I'm not lazy, I'm just doing something that's really important to me. And I think it's exactly the same for you. The more important it becomes for us to do, the more difficult it becomes, because we are simply so afraid of failing. It's like having a dream and fail. It's much more easy just not to fail and not to even attempt to go for it. Imagine that you're learning a new game. In the beginning there are no pressure because you don't know how to play the game, so of course you are not expected to win. But then the better and better you become, then there are more pressure, mostly from yourself, because you really want to win because you are able to win. And if you don't win, that means you fail. And this pressure is, for me, what makes it exciting, but this also requires a lot of energy. And then imagine that this is not just a game, but this is your life we are talking about. What I'm trying to describe now is going after your dreams, going after something that really matters to you. It can feel so extremely difficult and hard and challenging, but that's only a good sign, because that means that you're doing something good. You're doing something that you really want to do. You are not lazy and you don't need more energy. You just need to get started and figure out that this is not dangerous. Because what happens is that your body is telling you to flee, there is danger. As if there were a lion waiting to eat you. But there are no lion. The only dangerous thing is that you are exposed to failure. But again, failure is not dangerous, but our body thinks so. To do what you want more instead of procrastinating, being lazy or whatever we call it, I think it's so important to understand how we work. Understanding that when I get this, no, I need to do something else because I don't have the energy. It's not because you don't have energy, and it's not because you're not ready. It's actually just because it means so much to you that you can see yourself succeeding with doing this. I think understanding this is the best tool ever to get over being lazy, procrastinating, or whatever we call it. Though getting over it is not possible because that would require us to change our human behavior. But understanding how we work will make it easier for you to actually have some strategies to fight this every day. And yes, I fight this every day. And most often I win. Though sometimes it takes 5 minutes and other days like today it takes 8 hours. So, our imagination makes things 10 times worse than it actually is. So for me, before I get started writing a song, for example, then I have already in my mind played the scenario where I sit down and I fail. I can't do anything and it's not fun, it's just hard work, blah blah blah. And I don't think of it this way, but my body does. I can feel how it feels when I think about going to write a song. It's just like, no, don't do it. And this is how it feels like every Sunday before I have my live from scratch sessions. I just can't see myself succeed. But luckily I'm forced to do it, and when I hit record and like start, then after 5 minutes it becomes fun and all my fears disappears because they are not really genuine, my fears. Of course I can write a song. Just like I have a strategy every Sunday that I need to do it, then it's so important to like have a trigger, something that can get you started. So what I like to do is to have like simple task, 5-minute task that I like can't fail at doing. For example, for me it's so extremely easy to write chord progressions. So what I can do is like, Johan, just write a chord progression, and then I go and open my Ableton and I write a chord progression, and then suddenly I'm working and it's fun. And then for me it's not that big a problem just to finish the song, because when I'm started then it's just fun. Or it can be to read my script without having any agenda of like having to write a lot or do a lot, because when first I read it, then I get inspired to like, oh no, it should be like this and this and this. And the same concepts if I was writing a thesis. Just reading what I'm writing will inspire me to get started, because instead of I need to sit down and do something amazing good, then when I read it, it's like, oh, I need to do this. And then my body is like, oh, you just need to do it like this. Then we do it without any fear. So it's really about simplifying it as much as possible. So there are really no big risk at failing, because if there are no risk at failing, then it's so easy to get started. Another really great tool is to do a bit every day, because in this way you can tell your body that, hey, I succeeded yesterday and the day before yesterday. So even though you want to tell me that this is extremely difficult and that I will probably fail, then I kind of know from memories that is close to me that this is not how it's going to be. And that you can like, oh, yesterday it took me like 1 hour, so if I just do 1 hour today, then yeah, let's see. And it will just make it so much easier. Again, from writing and finishing a song every Sunday, when I started doing that in my live from scratch sessions, then every time I had like this small scratch, I started finishing them, because it was so close to me that, hey, I can actually finish this. And then instead of procrastinating, being lazy, or like finding excuses to why I didn't have the energy to do it, then I could like explain to myself that, hey, normally it takes me like 3 or 4 hours to write a whole song, and now I just need to like do this, and I can actually do this without any problems. And when it becomes so easy to tell yourself, then it also becomes so much easier to just do. So having to write a song every week actually makes it so much easier to write 3 or 4 songs a week, because I get into the habit of telling myself that I can actually do it. For me, when I don't have motivation, then it's so extremely difficult. I can have like this feeling of what it is I want to do, but it needs to be clear, because aiming for something out there somewhere, it's really difficult. So for me, it's about like having some clear goals which I can aim at and also reach. Of course, these smaller goals can be a part of one big goal. But having to like being able to get closer to your goal a bit every day just makes it so much easier. So for me, singing a bit every day is a goal for me. And that just satisfies me so extremely much. Writing on a manuscript every day is the exact same. And writing lyrics is like 3 things that is like, I know that they are important, because singing I want to play more live, so I need to like practice singing because it makes it so much more fun to sing. And I know that it's so extremely simple for me to understand. And the easier it is for me to understand, the easier it is to actually do it. Even though it's really easy also to forget. But every time I leave my studio and I'm like, oh, now I need to go home and sleep and la. Then I'm like, no, wait, just sing for 10 minutes because I know how happy it makes me, even though it feels like not today, tomorrow. But I know it so clearly that I want to sing every day because this is a part of my bigger goal of getting out there. So the more clear goals you can have, the more easy it is to actually get yourself to do it because you have something to gain. And when the thing to gain is right in front of you, or at least the understanding of what you're gaining is right in front of you, then it's just so much easier to get motivated. I hear a lot of young musicians who, when asked, what is your dream? And it's like, I want to be a professional musician. And then I'm asking like, how? Oh, I just want to be professional. I just want to live on making music. And I kind of get a bit sad every time because I feel like that. But it's such a difficult struggle because if you don't know what you want to do, then everything just becomes so difficult and hard and like, what is it we're doing? And oh, if I fail at something, then it means that I'm a failure, but it's like, it's just difficult. For me, when I have a clear goal, then it's okay that I'm failing all the time because failing all the time means that I'm getting there. Every time I fail, I get better. I fail when I'm doing something that I don't know about, of course. But I only do something that I don't know about because I'm heading somewhere. But when you don't have this clear destination of where you're heading, then every time you're failing, then instead of that you're getting one step closer to your destination, then you're just failing. And that also means that being playful and taking risks and like, it's just becomes so hard and heavy. And the problem is that the only way to become a professional musician, artist, or whatever it is you want to be, the only way to become that is by failing all the time and trying and like just going for it. And therefore it's so extremely important to have something that you want, a clear goal, a clear destination. So don't be afraid to like pronounce your goal and talk about them loudly. For me, my goal changes every month, but it doesn't matter because what happens is that I'm chasing something and then in the chase I'm learning something that I didn't know of before. And this new learnings of mine that I didn't know of before shows me something that I actually want even more than what I thought I wanted before. So go ahead and do. Another truly important thing to have in mind is that when you have a dream, a goal, a destination, then no matter how wrong everything goes, if you continue, you will get there. The best and most well-working recipe for happiness is about continuing. So if there is something that you would like to do, if you continue doing, then you will succeed. This is so important for you to know and to actually acknowledge and really understand, because that will make it easier for you to try and fail. Because if you think that all of your failures just means that you are failing, then it becomes so much harder to get started. But if you understand that all of your failures is what will get you to your end destination, then every time you fail, then it's actually a success. And if you can truly understand this, then it will make it so much easier to start your journey every day. Once I watched an interview with Julian Larch, and he said something truly amazing. And it was so simple, and like I was like, Yes, of course. What he said, like, when you're a guitar player, then it's like all about staying in a close position so you can like be fast and do everything. And then he was like, but seriously, going from here to here, it's not difficult. It's not even a meter. It's like doing this, it's not difficult. For me, what this means is we keep telling ourselves so many things that are simply not true. And if we can like have this like clear view of what it is, then it's so much more easy. In his example, it's like it's not difficult to do it like this to hit this if we just practice it. In this context, it means writing a song is actually just about figuring out 4 chords, writing some words, adding a melody, and then you're done. It's not difficult. For me, it takes like 3 or 4 hours, and it's not difficult. I can binge watch a series spending 8 hours and still not feeling like I have time to write a song. Sit down, think about it. Binge watch 4 episodes instead of 8 and then make a tune. It's about understanding that it's not magic. It's not about luck, it's just about hard work. And it's not that hard, and it's actually fun. So making it clear that it's just this, and I start by doing like this, this and this and this and this. Again, it just makes it so much easier to get started. A rule I live by now is if there is something that I fear, then I do it. Because when I fear something, then it means that I actually want to do it, but I'm afraid of failing. So it's actually something that I really want to do. Because why would I think of something that I fear if I don't want to do it? How to translate it into music? If I have made a song and I don't know what to do, and I can feel like, oh, I really don't want to do the vocal now, then I'm like, okay, I know what to do now, because the reason to why I don't want to make the vocals now are because it's so important. And because this is so important, there are no like reason to like wait with doing it, postponing it. So every time I'm in this like state of creation where I don't know what to do, then I do what I fear the most. And when I do this, then everything becomes much more easy, because every time I don't do what I fear, then I kind of tell my fear, it's good that you're here because I will listen to you. And the more I listen to my fear, the more it decides what I do. And the problem is that my fear always tries to guide me away from what I really want to do. So by always going against my fear and do what I'm fearing, what I do becomes so much better. It makes me so much happier when I'm doing what I'm fearing. And it just makes it easier to ignore my fear. To feel fear is a good thing, because that means that you're doing something that is important to you. So it's all about how you're handling the fear. Do what you fear a bit every day to get control over your fear. And stop calling yourself lazy. Instead, just figure out ways of like doing 5 minutes every day of what it is that is so important to you, that you fear it so much that it's so difficult to start. There are no reason to like hit yourself in the head because you don't do this. For me, some days it's like my body just like it's like, Johan, you are not getting out of the couch. You are not. Even though I keep telling myself like, I just need to get started. It's not something imaginary. You're not stupid. It's not like because you're more lazy than other. It's just because you're doing something that's really important to you. And for example, if you fear people listening to your music, then play it for them. Get free from all of this fear, because fear is just not fun. It's not easy, but it's doable. For me, this is one of the most important subjects there is, because making music is easy, but what is difficult is to allow ourselves to be playful and to create. So it's like when we have sat down and started, then there is like not much left to like really like fight against. My dream scenario would be like I'm waking up and I'm just looking forward to get to the studio and start writing a song. That is like my dream. I don't think I will ever get there, but I hope to get there. But I don't think I will, because if I get there, it would mean that I have found a way to make it less dangerous to write music. And that sounds good, but if it's less dangerous, it's because it's not that important to me anymore. So in a way, I would like it to be even harder to get started, but having even better tools to like fight this urge not to make music, or everything else that is really important to me. If you like this video, then please hit the thumbs up button and consider to subscribe to my channel. It's only one button click and it would truly make me happy, because it's acknowledging that I'm doing something that helps you. So enjoy.